But it's always good to get the fact check.
I didn't know you were from No.
I appreciate that because I'm a lot better looking than he is.
Well, it explains it.
I don't know if that's good or not. Oh, good. Okay.
Not as an app. I only need one more. Two underneath there. Such a hoarder. Look at Eric, what's in it?
So I'm putting them back.
That's fine, but I told you, everybody gets 3 flavors. French vanilla, hazelnut, regular. Always. We don't cheapen our Oh yeah, John, definitely. Yeah, that I need one.
Better than I'm not getting any younger.
Okay.
Of course I don't have any batteries. Of course I don't have batteries. That would be too smart. Check. Yeah, check.
Becky! Can you do this? Thank you. She said, how old you were? You have sun times coming to you.
I do a little splash red, but I haven't really done a full.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
Well, I didn't want to copy too much, so. But I tried doing a full red. It was like a.
Anybody know why we only have 3 calendars?
Yep.
Oh,
So I've
why would I
only
even have
seen
calendars?
So you're the
What?
third, actually.
No, I mean it's February 20th. Why would I have calendars?
Oh, really?
Normally she gets the calendars at the beginning of the month.
Unless it's a misprint, we're supposed to say March and we're early. I don't know. Nope, it's the...
Hey, you gave me a bag.
Yes, I did.
Thank you. That was a long time ago.
All right, you should have a Sun Times in front of you now. Now, she got the new logo on the Sun Times? Yeah, cool. Make it bigger. Thank you. Thank you, Sherry and Boo Boo.
Yummy, yummy.
Sherry Warren's back there cleaning up. But she's coming. She's fast. So looking at the announcements, I will do that first. We got Campus Care starting at 9:30 in the morning. Each week we're just sort of doing a little bit of stuff to get ready for UK group. Not as big as we thought, but still a good number of kids we got to take care of. So there's 96 coming. That's 96 within the final number. I am glad you asked. You'll be here? March 12th through the... Oh, they'll hook you up. Anybody want to know how they can help? Which one? Oh, Jerry Fur? Yeah, she'll be recruiting. So a lot of our manpower centers around meals. So it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then there's pre-lunch setup and pre-dinner setup. So any of those 5 items, any day, you can jump in and out of. So there'll be a schedule pops up in the next week or so that you can sort of sign up on. We'll probably have it at church. Y'all didn't do very well on the online sign-ups. So we're back to paper and pen.
We didn't do very well getting to church Sunday either because we were stuck in traffic.
There was traffic getting to church?
Oh my goodness. We finally
Y'all should rent somewhere on the island.
went to the First Baptist of Sparrow.
That's Brother Frank. That's good. I'm good with
We
that.
got there half hour early. That's how the traffic was out here.
That's better. Yeah, don't do that again. But I like Brother Frank.
Don't do that.
You can get a motel on Saturday nights over here on the island.
Oh, we charge it to.
No. We have our own motel rooms.
Oh,
Just tell my dad. He'll set you up. You spend the night. You're here too. Then you can cook breakfast. See?
he's the breakfast man. Makes a great breakfast.
There you go. So we have guys on grills that whole week on breakfast and lunches and dinners. So there's guys, girls, and all kinds of stuff to do it. So what we're going to attempt to do is we're going to attempt to do it all in this building as far as meals go. Underneath is going to be recreation hangout area for them and stuff like that. We're going to try to do all of our meals right here. So that week we're going to be on that volunteer work week on the 10th. We're going to do a trial setup and try to get 96. So I'm told there's 72 chairs and tables in here, or chairs around the tables right now. If that's the case, that should not be a problem at all. Because we're going to get rid of all this. Right, Doug? You think you can do that?
I was not multitasking.
That's 89.
You said you're the only one that can do it. Oh, we got more chairs. Think we can get 96
They don't
in?
eat all at once, do they?
Yeah. For dinner, that's the only meal. The rest of it's easy, but dinner's a full house.
You can do it.
I think we can do it.
No, I think you can do it easy. We're not serving at all, so we can go back on.
No, I'm thinking if we can do it, I would like to try to serve, but if we don't, it's just going to be meal, and we're going to serve on the ramp as they come up.
Even if you just put one up against the wall, if you have to, get 3 in behind them.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So that's coming up, but we still got a little bit of stuff around the property that's got to get done before that. Steve Roberts needs some help painting, so we can do some of that on Thursday, but then each day here in this building, we got a bathroom that's almost done. We just got to finish. All it likes is finishing. So if we can need some help painting around there and things like that. Next week, a really good fun week. We're going to paint the dome inside of the church, change out the light fixtures in the dome. So if you want to come watch that, that'd be awesome. We have a 25-year-old that's going to ride a lift all the way to the dome. So we're going to be, I think Justin's doing it. But we are going to have some tarp people, we got to move some plastic around. When he's painting, we're going to make sure we keep everything protected. So, and then some cleanup after. So it's gonna be a pretty decent week of work. Not strenuous, but if you can come and help and clean up and just kind of assist him on the ground, that would be great. Get some new lights to hang and things like that.
Did you want that on the pulpit?
I didn't put it on the pulpit. Yes, leave it alone. No, leave it. This is a new sermon prop because I brought up the words natural light. Somebody snuck this in here and left it here.
Oh.
So I'm going to leave it sitting there. Doug is not the beer guy. He is my data collecting guy. He did verify you can live on beer.
Oh,
It's not very healthy. It's not. You're not going to like long life.
My alcoholic father-in-law,
No, but you can live on
ex-father-in-law used to say that's just like a pork chop.
Just like a pork chop?
You can live on it for a year.
At the protein.
No, it's not a year. It's
Protein of a pork chop.
what did they say, Doug?
6 months.
6 months. You can do 6
You don't
months.
survive, you die.
You will die. I mean, yeah, you will die, but you will live the 6 months. Yeah.
You're not surviving.
Yeah, you're not surviving.
Dying on
You're
it.
dying over here, but you got 6 months to change your tune.
One way to go, right?
6 months to change your tune there. So no, that's why that's there. I know who did it. I won't tell on him. No, wait a minute. This is somebody else.
I think you did tell on him already.
Was it you? I have another one coming Sunday that's a different flavor, but it's Natty Light. I've already told about that. I thought he just brought it in today. So we're starting a collection. And nobody online can see it, so they're all wondering why we're talking about it. That's okay.
what I was
It's
looking
okay.
at.
Jansen and Amanda are watching. Thanks, Donna, for letting me know. Hi, Jansen. Hi, Amanda. Jansen's doing well. They're in a new room, and they are going home next week. What she told me today. And I'm supposed to clarify, not home, into their Airbnb for around that 12-week mark. But he'll be out of the hospital, they're thinking, so. Doing well. All the other stuff that's going on in there on this list, you need to make sure you're part of if you'd like to do so. Okay, on the back. We're going to reach out to this young lady, Emmy Rocco. She's on top. We call her Emily at Christmas. She's a single mom, has 5 kids. She is 36 and Health Park moved her up to Sarasota get a pacemaker at her age. So we want to text Emily because she lives in Lehigh. She got a hold of us around Christmas. We assisted them and their family, or her and her kids. And so we want to reach out to her and let her know that we're still her assistants in prayer and such. So if you can grab your cell phone and send a text, that would be awesome. If you're watching online, get ready. I'm going to give you the number.
Here, just say it and I'll type it in.
Mally's going to put it in the comments.
Hold on, honey.
If you're not watching on Facebook, get your pen and paper.
We got it.
I'll do it.
I got it.
I'm still going to read it for those who are watching on Roku, Fire Stick, and that sort of thing, because they're not going to get your comment. 239-896-7672.
Do it again.
2. We can't afford batteries. 239. No, it's all right. 896-7672. Her name is Emily. You have a text that you are thinking, praying, we are praying, and we are going to include that in our prayer. Butch goes to rehab tomorrow. Butch Gallagher.
We have so many butches, I have to make sure.
There are 3 in the room. I know.
We all need
It's a
to
bit crazy.
be.
Butch.
Oh, okay.
And Butch cubed. I'm looking over the list now just to see what needs to be caught up on. If anybody wants to give an update on any of those that can, that would be awesome. Anybody wants to add, right now is your chance.
I want to add,
Go.
can we add Jerry's twin brother Larry?
Yep.
He has stage 4 prostate cancer that has spread to his bones and lymph nodes.
Okay.
So,
Larry Warren.
yeah, and his mom had hip surgery today. All going well,
Oh, good.
but he's got his plate full.
Is he still leaving?
Sorry?
Did he leave?
Oh, yeah, he left last Thursday. He's up there.
That's what I thought.
Emmy Rocco is watching.
Yay.
Hi, Emmy Rocco, in the Sarasota Hospital. You better make sure you text. You don't know you don't like her. Anybody else? Stephen Martin, down your praises. He was here Sunday picking up his van. He is working up there and staying on at Set Free by the Sea. I think he's still part-time cooking for them. He's got some responsibilities there now, but he's working outside of the program. Rick and Sandy get to have church with Kylie this Sunday for the first time at Teen Challenge. So Rick and Sandy won't be here, but they'll be there. Kylie is crazy fanatic right there now, so she's having a really good response. Anybody else? We need a volunteer. We need a volunteer that can drive a van and pull a small trailer.
There he is, right there.
No, he was just there today. He came. He's working tomorrow. It's tomorrow. We need to go tomorrow.
You guys go.
Anybody can do that? You're just picking up a pallet of water. They're going to just load it. You don't have to load it. They're going to set it on there and you're going to turn around and drive right back. It can be a guy. It can be a girl.
Where are you going? Where's it to? Where are we going to?
75 in Luckett.
75 and Luckett. George, can you do it? Really? Okay. Get with Craig about the van. Is the van still hooked on to
Yeah.
your trailer?
Yeah.
So we need to unhook that. Just come here in the morning at whatever time and we'll get you out of here. There's the little flat trailer sitting right over there by the dumpster and the big van.
Okay, I'll unhook it.
And if you want somebody to ride with you, grab somebody. Take them. Yeah, then Craig will give you the address and such.
Do I?
He's
I just know how to get there.
got a phone. Okay, Craig's gonna draw on a napkin what turns for me. We've really gone down here at Beach Baptist. I'm just down here. $1,000 supercomputer in your pocket and drawing on a napkin how to get somewhere. All right, anybody else? Becky, how about praying for us? You want to do that? Pray loud for this camera to pick you up. Can.
Father, we just thank you for the opportunity to get together this evening as a family. And Father, we just thank you and praise you for this time and pray that you open our hearts to receive your message, that it may benefit our lives and our body, and that we may glorify you. In your precious name, amen.
All right, we can thank Mally for her discussion tonight. She's the one that came up with this one. We'll tell you why afterwards. You did text it? Why? It doesn't do me any good. No, read it. So you need to listen because here's this is a discussion question. Okay?
I gotta read loud.
You do have to read loud. Everybody online, listen proud. I'll kind of repeat what we're doing.
Compare the callings of Isaiah and Jeremiah. How does each prophet respond, and which prophet do you resemble when God asks you to do something?
So we're tying this like we did on Sunday morning. Back to kind of we've been talking about for 2 Sundays as far as service, as far as meeting needs, as far as doing what you're called or asked to do. There are 2 prophets that we're going to look at tonight who received a calling or a request from God to do something. They both responded in their own ways. And we want to, so you got to be thinking, because I'm going to ask you, that's why it's discussion, how you relate to which one of them you relate to in your response back to God when asked to serve or meet a need or just to do anything. It's Jeremiah 6, right?
Jeremiah 1, Isaiah 6.
That's close. So I'm going to read you the entire verse or entire chapter of Jeremiah 1. I only got into that with Jeremiah 1:1, and so I need the entire Jeremiah. There, look at that. Look at that. She's so smart. I can, let me see. Hold on. Click in there. Just click. Click on the word. Yep, I got it. The words of Jeremiah, son of Hilkiah, one of the priests at Anath, in the territory of Benjamin. The word of the Lord came to him in the 13th year of the reign of Josiah, son of Amon, king of Judah, and through the reign of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, down to the 5th month of the 11th year of Zedekiah, son of Josiah, king of Judah, when the people of Jerusalem went into exile. None of that has to do with what we're going to talk about exactly. Except for when the people of Jerusalem went into exile. So the people of Jerusalem were going into exile. Okay? The word of the Lord came to me saying, and this is Jeremiah talking, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I anointed you as a prophet to the nation. Alas, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak. I am too young. But the Lord said to me, do not say I am too young. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you, and will rescue you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. The word of the Lord came to me. What do you see, Jeremiah? I see the branch of an almond tree, I replied. The Lord said to me, you have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. The word of the Lord came to me again. What do you see? I see a pot that is boiling. It is tilting toward us from the north. The Lord said, from the north disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. I am about to summon all the peoples of the northern kingdom, declares the Lord. Their kings will come and set up their thrones in the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem. They will come against all her surrounding walls and against all the towns of Judah. I will pronounce my judgments on my people because of their wickedness in forsaking me, in burning incense to other gods, and in worshiping what their hands have made. Get yourself ready. Stand up and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, its officials, its priests, and the people of the land. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. So, we have Jerusalem going into exile, and we have the Lord coming to him. Notice what he reminds him of first. You all quoted this verse. You may not have known it in context, but many anti-abortion activists will quote this verse because God said to Jeremiah, I formed you in the womb. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nation. Before he was even born, so Jeremiah was set as a prophet. So that's the setting, and God reminds him, I have known you longer than anybody. I destined you. So for all the predestination, anti-predestination people, sorry, God announced, I made you a prophet before I made you. So that's pre. Okay? Alas, I do not know how to speak. So what does Jeremiah do? Questions. Actually calls out his failings. So God reminds him, I made you, and I knew you before I made you, and I already have your destiny planned out before I made you. And Jeremiah responds with the first failure that he can come up with. I'm too young. I do not know how to speak. I am too young. You've called me too soon. I'm not ready. Right? But the Lord said, don't say that. Don't say that. When God calls and you come up with an excuse that has to do with the guy who's calling you, it's kind of silly. Okay? So you're getting kind of Jeremiah's response, Jeremiah's excuses. Okay? I'm not asking you which one you buy yet. I mean, which one you attribute to yet, because you got to read them. We got to read a book. Then he goes down. We won't get into the whole thing. We're just getting where they decide what's going on. Then the Lord tells me, or shows me, and he touched my mouth and said, I've put the words in your mouth. These are my words you're going to give. So as a prophet, these aren't your words. You don't have to worry about being too young. You don't have to. I've already got this. I've already figured this out. Your argument is null and void. I'm giving you the words. And then he tells him how he's also going to be built over nations and kingdoms. Now, Jeremiah doesn't know. We don't need to. This is God and Jeremiah learning each other. You've probably done this. The Holy Spirit will do something in your life, right? And you will see it and you will acknowledge it. That's what Jeremiah did. So God puts something in front of him. Jeremiah acknowledges, yes, I see what you're putting up. You and I are on the same page. So Jeremiah's talking back with God. Yep, it's an almond tree. I get it. And then God gives him a metaphor about that the city's going to get torn down, but he is going to be the stronghold, and he is going to withstand it, and everybody's going to come against him. So in our relationship with God, it's like I said, you've seen the Holy Spirit at work, you've acknowledged it, and then you still argue. Okay? You then sometimes will look forward into the future, right? And you will predict what's going to happen. If I do this, they're not going to like me. If I do this, they're not going to listen to me. If I do this, this is what's going to happen. And you play this if-then game with God. Maybe with yourself, you're not going to acknowledge that you're actually arguing with God. You're just coming up with some excuses. On the other hand, here, God tells Jeremiah, this is what's going to happen. So even when you come up with your excuses, if you relate to Jeremiah, God is still telling you, this is my hand. I'm still going to accomplish what I've set out to accomplish. So as you argue, as you give your excuses, God always comes back and reminds you, I've already planned this out. This was my deal. This was my goal. We're not in an arguing state here. You're not going to bring anything to me that I'm going to go, didn't think of that. You're right. You should wait a few more years. I thought you were older. Not going to do that. And then then he says, okay, then he says, get ready, right? So you have the conversation. Maybe you agree. You've had your arguments with him. You've come up with excuses, whatever. And then maybe you agree. Then God says, get ready and say what I tell you to say. Okay? So when you agree, so Jeremiah agreed, right? And God says, get ready. Get ready. Say what I'm going to tell you. All right, that's Jeremiah 1. Now we're Isaiah 6. Who do you think God's calling in Isaiah 6? Go ahead and say it. This is an easy one. Isaiah, good job. Y'all are scholars. Did you click in the middle? Hold on. Yep. Okay. So we have a little bit of time frame, and then we're right into the story. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and exalted, seated on a throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphim, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings that covered their faces. With 2 they covered their feet. And with 2 they were flying. They were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. That's actually a song, a cantata from a choir. At the sound of their voices, the doorposts and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. Woe to me, Isaiah says. I am ruined. One of your versions would say, I am undone. It's my favorite, one of my favorite phrases in the whole Bible. I am undone. For I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. With it he touched my mouth and said, See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And I said, Here am I. Send me. He said, Go and tell this people. Be ever hearing, but never understanding. Be ever seeing, but never perceiving. Make the heart of this people calloused, make their ears dull, and to close their eyes. Otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn and be healed. Then I said, for how long, Lord? And he said, until the cities lie ruined and without inhabitant, until the houses are left deserted, and the fields ruined and ravaged. Until the Lord has sent everyone far away, and the land is utterly forsaken. And though a tenth remains in the land, it will again be laid waste. But as the terebinth and oak leave stumps when they are cut down, so the holy seed will be the stump in the land. So, let's put it in our terms, in our phrases. You see a miracle. Isaiah saw a vision. It's fine. You see a miracle that's undeniable. That is, you absolutely, positively, there is no question, no one can ever, ever argue it away from you. You know what happened. Now, for us, that miracle should be, anybody know? Our salvation. Christ, yeah. Another easy one for you. Jesus, that's one of those. That should have been the miracle that happened to you that's never questionable. Okay? That's never, ever going to be denied by you, that no one's ever going to talk you out of, that no one's ever going to argue. It's not. Christ did this for me, and there's nothing you'll ever do to make me not see it. So that's where you are. And we have, that's not Jeremiah, I mean, that's not Isaiah saying, holy, holy, holy. That's the angels, okay, or the seraphim. This is Jeremiah. I'll never get this right. Isaiah calls out, woe to me. And what's that mean? Kill me now. Literally, woe. Woe is a death. Like all the way to hell kind of death. I am undone. I am ruined. I am nowhere near worthy to hear this from you. To even be called by you. So Isaiah doesn't believe he is worthy. He sees his sin. He sees what he does. He understands how bad of a person he is, and he says, you just need to kill me. I'm not your guy. At first, right? At first. That's the excuses. And it's not really excuses. It's just unworthiness. I believe what you've done for me. I believe what I'm seeing here. He's not doubting anything except for himself. Doubting himself. That God would consider him for this task. Then he has what would be your miracle, right? The one we just said, the one you can't deny. So the symbolism, he's touching the lips with the hot coal, and he's cleansing you of all unrighteousness, is what the Bible says about you. And so God says, okay. Notice right there between those two verses, the reason God did it is because God agreed with him. He agreed with him. I am ruined. I am not worthy as a person. Yet. I wish he could put yet. But Isaiah didn't know how he could get there. And God says, let me cleanse you. And he does. He cleanses him. He said, see there. With it. So see, this is touch your lips. Your guilt is taken away. Your sin is atoned for. Now what do you got? So Isaiah now sits where you sit if you're a follower, a believer, someone who said, Christ, I believe what you did, and I'm a Christian. If that's you, you now sit in that at the end of verse 6, just like Isaiah. Sin atoned for. Seen the miracle. And now the question comes to you. Who will go? Who will do this? And Isaiah's response, pick me. He is racing towards that basin of water we talked about to wash feet. He is leading the charge. He is not at this point with any excuse. He doubted his worthiness. God assured him of his salvation, and he is whole hog in. I'll go. And then God tells him what he's going to do. Go tell him. I'm getting rid of them. Same Same message that Jeremiah is going to spread. And literally, the prophets share the same message. Different times, but same message. Going to cut it all down. Cut it all down. We'll check your Bible words, and then y'all get ready. We're going to ask you which one. I like this. Where in verse 10 he says, make the heart of this people calloused. Make their ears dull and close their eyes. Otherwise they might see and they might hear with their own eyes and ears what's going on. I don't want them like that. I want them to see me for who I am. That's just a cool message. That has nothing to do with your discussion question. But that's just a cool message. I am going to get the glory out of this. Turn off anything that they're going to see with their eyes and ears and let them understand. So for me, that would be our day right now, where we live, that when you look around and you see turmoil, or you see and you're looking for a way out, or you're looking for some sort of redemption or some plan or some heal or whatever it is, God is after the glory. And nothing the world offers is going to give you the healing that he's offering us. I like that little comparison. Anybody know what the word would be called? You'll see it all the way through Revelation. And though a tenth remains in the land, it will again be laid waste. But as the terebinth and oaks leave stumps when they are cut down, so the Holy See will be the stump in the land. What is the stump in the land actually called in Bible words? Anybody know? Remnant. Good job. Look at her go. You get that star. The remnant. There's always people. God never ever destroyed all of them. Would that make sense? If he destroyed them all, where would you be? Nowhere. Always leaves a remnant. Always leaves a little piece. All right. So you've got Jeremiah with his excuses of his human failures and frailties. And then you have Isaiah with the unworthiness, followed up by a saving encounter with God himself that then jumps off that cliff with both feet and says, okay, I believe. I believe. I believe. Who will start?
Well, since Isaiah walked around naked, I'm going to pick Jeremiah. He ended well.
You don't want to walk around naked? That's your excuse? Okay.
See,
Jeremiah ended with clothes on.
Nothing to do with
Okay.
anything you said. Save you some trouble.
Hey, it's okay. This is your walk. It doesn't matter. There's not a right answer here, right? I mean, there's not a wrong answer, I should say. There's a right answer.
No, Freudian slip.
Yeah, that's good. Next. Go.
I have a question.
Okay.
The Jeremiah one, would he feel like that because he feels unworthy? Is that why the excuses?
Oh, no. He didn't feel unworthy. I mean, it didn't read like he felt unworthy. He just picked out his weak. He's weak. Yeah. So we have unworthy and weak. Maybe that's the two comparisons if you wanted to nail them down to one word.
Do you really think it's weak or unwillingness? As using the weakness as an excuse.
Hold on. Oh, I didn't bring that up. No, hold on. Can you jump back over real quick? The word's in there. God tells him what not to be because God knows exactly what he is. I'll show you where it's at and I'll get you to pick it out. Hold on. Okay. Oh, click in the words. There it is. Yeah, it's right in there. It's in verse 17. Get yourself ready. Stand up and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be afraid. Fear. Jeremiah's big problem is fear. And I've met many people. I've met people on both sides of this. I met many people who are scared to death. We got to try to get a group to go to Guatemala. There were more scared people in our church that didn't want, because they were scared to death that it was Guatemala, it was unstable, it was whatever. Just scared to death. Not going. I'll never go. I'm never leaving the U.S. A couple of them, I'm never used to leaving the U.S. I'm like, oh yeah, that's safer. But so the fear is very real in all of us. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying that's I say it to tell you, it's still very real. And I find enough, I'm not gonna say which one's more yet, enough that are unworthy.
Do we have to choose one or the other? Because I feel like,
You think you're both?
yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Okay. What are you afraid of?
Being called out.
Oh, you're pre-afraid, or you're afraid of being called out whenever you do what you're asked to do?
No, that I'm okay with. I'm talking about on.
Oh, so you're actually fearful of even being called out.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that mean, being called out?
Asked to do something.
Well, no, I'm not afraid, no.
Oh, what was
By God, you mean? Ask
Yeah,
me
yeah.
to do something? No, I'm not afraid of that. I'm afraid of, maybe the consequences are the right words.
Okay.
On the planet, does that make sense?
I got you.
Yeah.
But I'm
Failing
always willing
your-
to serve, so, I mean, I'm always, pick me, so I think I'm kind of both.
So you would be Isaiah with a little bit of Jeremiah, but Jeremiah's so Jeremiah's the fearful. So I'm willing, but I'm still scared.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfectly good.
Jeremiah has, lack of faith
Jeremiah, lack of faith.
or trust.
Oh yeah. Fear and faith never go together. Absolutely.
Oh, great.
So definitely say. No, she's asking, could we say the has no trust? And yeah, it's because you can't fear and have faith. You know what I mean? It's like,
But I'm not afraid of him, I'm just
sure.
on the planet.
So we would just be talking about the circumstance itself.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I try to Guatemala, so you take it with Guatemala. So just because we can pick on it. If you're asked to go, you believe you're asked to go to Guatemala, not by me, but by God.
Yeah.
You can't be fearfully faithful.
Got it.
Right? I mean,
Yes,
you're going. If you're going,
you're going.
then you've got to go on faith. You can't go on, we're not going on fear.
Correct. Got
Now,
that.
you're going to have a concern where there you're human going to keep popping in and out, yes, but never at the exact same time.
Right, I agree.
I don't think they can exist in the same space, same moment, same mind. You may flip back and forth every 30 seconds,
But it happened.
but it happens. It happens. Who else?
Afraid of the unknown. So you're afraid of getting out of your comfort zone.
So which one are you?
Afraid of being afraid.
No, which prophet?
Oh. A little bit of both.
A little bit.
Or a lot of both.
A lot of. Okay. Fear of the unknown was definitely Jeremiah. Definitely, absolutely. Especially when the known was made to him. What was unknown became known. I bet he was still scared.
Right.
It doesn't say. Does it say what he? We didn't go. If it go. Well, let me go forward.
No, we're just sticking with Jeremiah.
Yeah, we're just sticking with Jeremiah. Yeah. I'll start chasing rabbits if we go into chapter 2. So let's not do that. What you got, Butch? You want to pick one?
Huh?
You want to pick one?
Fear.
So that's Jeremiah. Okay. Corey? Or did you pick one, or did you made statements, you didn't pick one yet?
I would think Isaiah more so, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm like, my first thought is like, really, me? Like, I don't feel worthy at all, but, okay.
After the assurance?
You know,
Okay.
like if you say so and have gone, when I know that the Lord is leading me or asking me and I can't even comprehend because I'm just looking at all my weaknesses, but if you say so, it's okay. It's kind of how I look at it. And
Okay. What was I going to say about that? Let me go here. Oh no, that's Jeremiah.
Interesting that people are saying that they're okay with God things, but they're afraid of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, your
I
mind
would
is
think
terrible.
I'd be more afraid of God than what somebody else thinks about me.
Which one do you think, because I believe one of them was afraid of God and the other one was afraid of people. Or one of them was concerned with God, one was concerned with people. We don't say afraid because I don't think fear was in the other one. Which one do you think was concerned with the people?
Jeremiah.
Yeah. And which one was concerned with God?
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
He was more worried about being in his presence.
Yeah, Isaiah was more worried about his sin and what was making him unworthy, or the fact that he was unworthy, but before God, not before men. And Jeremiah was literally afraid, I can't talk to them. I'm too young. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And in that role there, you could be both ways.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Donna? You want to pick one?
No.
You can put neither. No one's picked neither yet. No words in your mouth, though. I don't want to know what you did.
No, I don't really feel like either one of them.
Oh, really? So you are neither. Okay, that's good. That's good. Why?
Yeah.
Well, because I feel that, when he asks me to do something, I do it. I'm not afraid, so, I don't know.
So technically, that's both of them because they both did it. That's why I was going to Jeremiah too. They both do it. Regardless, if you didn't have their excuses, but they did it. So once again, now we're back to the same. Barbara?
I think Isaiah.
Yeah.
Because I think I was called upon when I was very young,
Mm-hmm.
and I did have to grow up. I was only like 7, so I really did have to grow up. But as soon as I was old enough to actually, the
Respond.
state's reasons,
Mhm.
old enough, I was right there to be a foster parent, to take children, and that's what he asked me in Sunday school one day. So while I was too young at the time, I was 23, that was the cutoff, that was the beginning date.
Sure.
I could start doing it, and I was.
For you. Definitely, Isaiah. Anybody else about that table back there? Is Doug data checking me, or is he? Okay. I didn't do any data checking.
I'm just reading.
Okay, mine's your reading. Okay.
Is it possible that the elders told Jeremiah he's too young and shut up, and so when he talks to God, he's thinking of him as an elder?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, absolutely. So she wonders if Jeremiah was told by someone else that he was too young. Like, was he told? The only reason I would say I don't know is because they wouldn't have known he was being called as a prophet.
Well,
So God never announced to anyone, this is going to be my prophet.
Do you know how you talk to kids?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I was wondering if that was his growing up my time.
But that we can blame it on his parents. I mean, if therapy taught me anything, just blame it on your parents. You want to watch some good YouTube? Okay, this is an aside. You want to watch some good YouTube? Look up reparenting. No, it's cool. I mean, my eyes was like, what? You reparent your inner child. It's not your parents' fault that you didn't get a particular anything. You can actually go back and reparent your inner child and overcome some of the garbage that we're carrying forward as an adult. Old or mid-age, doesn't matter. Yeah, so it is fun stuff. And it's good. And it makes a lot, it's all medical, it's all psychological founded stuff. It's not just a guy doing YouTube in his basement. It's not that kind of guy. But reparenting the inner child, it is actually very fascinating.
Which one are you?
No idea what we got there. Which one am I? I was never a Jeremiah. I didn't. I would definitely be an Isaiah. Whenever we came down here, I had the more unworthy for sure. Sherry Ann says it. I looked at God and said, "What kind of options have you run out of? Have you seen?" She says, "How desperate do you actually have to be?"
Which you told us a little bit about you last week. 17 years.
Yeah, he did. And then somebody asked me today, "Are you in here?" Asked me to write the book. Was that you? Yeah. Every good preacher writes a book, so I'm like, maybe I'll just write a book and I'll become a good preacher. So yeah, no, I would be Isaiah. I think I'm Isaiah. I do jump. That's the other thing about Isaiah. Nobody even brought that up. I jump. God didn't say where you're going. He didn't say, hey, this is what I need you to do. Would you like to go? He says, who am I going to send? And Isaiah goes, I'll go. I don't even know where you're going. But I'll go. I'm the guy. And I do have a tendency to do that.
You're the pastor,
Sure.
so you're Isaiah. You took the step.
Well, they both became the same. But yeah, how we got there and what we felt getting there, for me, was closer to Isaiah. Now I'm the guy going, who's going? Y'all showed me pretty quick. I didn't do it right because now everybody goes, where are we going? What are we doing? Before I raise my hand. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was thinking that I connected with Isaiah because of the miracle that he saw. And when you suggested that our miracle is our salvation, I felt like that was a miracle that I experienced myself. And then the forgiveness of sins. And I felt that. And then I just couldn't wait to tell other people. You know, I couldn't hold myself back once he revealed himself to me.
Sure.
So that's where I connected with Isaiah.
Yeah. So if we, what time is it? Yeah, we got time. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. And I'm going right back to that in just a second. Slowly. Angela, why are you being so quiet for? You love to talk.
Yeah, I'm Isaiah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Because sometimes I don't feel worthy that even Christ died for me. Never mind. So
Totes? Why did I use that word? Who does that?
What is that?
Totally, dude.
I know what it is.
So here's my take. I think we should be Isaiah. We should never have the Jeremiah. But we got to go do it no matter what. We got to get there. We're regardless of which one you pick, our strive should be Isaiah. And I think the reason I say Isaiah, because the key is if we can think back to that moment that she just told you about. If you can always bring yourself back to the miracle that God did in your life, you will understand why he's asking you. You will understand what he did, and you won't have those unworthy feelings. Prior to the miracle, you'll always feel unworthy. But guess what? You'll never be asked to do something in that state. You are unworthy. You haven't received redemption yet. But once you receive redemption, God will ask of you what he knows is in you, because what's in you is the Christ who died for you. And that's the reason he sent him. So Isaiah holds the key of making us remember what God did for us. Getting us to that mindset of course I'm worthy. Because if I say I'm not worthy now, I'm saying Christ wasn't enough. So we keep remembering what Christ did and put all the emphasis back on him. Give all the glory back to God when we do it. And boom, you have a magic formula. It's not really a magic formula. Don't write it down as a formula. But do whatever it takes for you to remember what God did for you. The other thing is, and this is another side, but I want us to remember this. When you do this, when you teach yourself to be Isaiah, when you teach yourself to remember what God did for you, you are way less prone to calling out people for what they do. Whether it's before Christ or after Christ. Because you remember what you were. You remember how you were. And you feel that worthiness now because of what Christ did for you. Right? You feel worthy because he bought you with that price. And now you feel the full weight of that price on you. And you get it. But then you will also, as that reminder, you won't look at others. And you won't say, well, they're not worthy. Or that one particular sin in them. I had a conversation. The reason I brought that up, we had a conversation with a guy today. It was tearing down wedding stuff. And we were talking. And we were talking about certain things. And we were talking about some of them. And it was certain types of people. And it was certain things that people did. Certain sins in people's lives. He didn't feel comfortable. But do we have to serve them? When you remember what God did for you and the spot that you were in when He saved you, the answer is always yes. You don't have any outs based on that. If somebody doesn't teach him a new ringtone, that is the craziest
It's your
thing.
son.
Doesn't surprise me. Yes, sir.
Satan is the accuser, so he's
Well, take
one
two,
that's
he's had 2 pieces of cake already.
where we are now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So if you can remember what God did for you, you can ignore the lies that Satan's giving you. Yeah, you're not worthy. Yeah. I didn't want to bring up, you know who you're listening to when you think you're not worthy. Okay, but that's Satan. But that's okay. Awesome. Good discussion. Got what you needed? The reason we did that is she was having trouble answering a discussion question for her class.
I was wondering if you were doing your homework.
So she was doing her homework. So y'all helped with the discussion question. But it was a really good discussion question. And it worked right along with where we were. So God's at work all over. Oh, yeah. Now, what is your answer?
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you had to write it out. Let's hear what you wrote. Let's see it. And she'll tell you what grade you got on Sunday.
After reviewing and studying both Isaiah chapter 6 and Jeremiah chapter 1, I see many similarities and also differences between the two prophets' callings. In Jeremiah chapter 1, the Lord comes to the prophet Jeremiah and tells him of his plans and needs for him. And the prophet questions the Lord and says, I am too young, I cannot speak. This is also Jeremiah announcing his failures to the Lord, saying he is not good enough to be there. Moving on to Isaiah chapter 6, as along with Jeremiah chapter 1, Isaiah is in the presence of the Lord, and his response is why he cannot be there and why he is not good enough to be in the presence. Isaiah specifically says, woe to me, pronouncing he is not worthy, and it is due to his unclean lips or sin. The difference here is Jeremiah questioned the Lord after his calling, and Isaiah hears his calling and immediately says, here my Lord, send me. When I think to what prophet I believe I resemble when I hear a calling from the Lord, I would like to say I resemble Isaiah and immediately offer myself up to task. But due to my human nature and the fear I know is in my heart, I resemble a little bit more towards Jeremiah, and I will question everything I can and almost have to be convinced. For argument's sake, I also believe that my answer would determine the situation that the Lord is calling me to. For example, if the Lord is calling me to do something within my comfort zone, I believe I would be more apt to resemble Isaiah and offer myself up. But if the Lord was calling me to bigger plans and something I could never attempt on my own, I would believe I'd be more on the side of resembling Jeremiah and not consider myself worthy or able due to my fear.
Whoop, whoop.
Very good.
Well worded. Well worded. She making Camelsville proud, Jack, or not?
I'd say that's an excellent job that little girl did. I'm very proud of her.
The reason Mally goes to Campbellsville is that man right there. I think he has a library named after him or something at Campbellsville. I don't know. No, he went there when it was just straw huts. But yeah, so Jack encouraged Mally to go to Campbellsville.
What's it called?
Campbellsville University.
Campbellsville.
Campbell.
The soup?
Yeah.
Yep, just like the soup.
Okay.
Campbell. No, except Campbellsville.
And they now have 15,000 students there.
Wow.
How many was there when you were there?
About 200 or 300.
Quite a bit more. Quite a bit more. Did you meet Hartiste there? No. Okay. Oh, shh, don't talk about it. Don't talk about our college days. Okay. It's a good. It may have been a good Baptist school, but that don't mean you acted it. Okay. Keep my mouth shut. Good job. Let's all stand. We'll be dismissed. See you back. Oh, we're gonna put all but that last. We'll leave those three up as always. Those three, but make sure that the tables are clean. If you need, Beth's gonna bring a towel around so we can start with the chairs, get those up, and then we'll go back and do the table. Let's all stand and pray. God, we thank you that you've given your word to us in the written form, that we can go back and study and see you talk to people just like us. Thank you for the knowledge that you give us through your Spirit. Help us to always be your yes man. In your name we pray. Amen.
Bye.